Morning, everybody. Morning, ASU families. Thank you so much for joining us. What's going to happen today is we're going to be breaking you into different breakout rooms, and so that you can hear from fellow parents or parents or hosts who will be sharing their experiences and their perspectives. It'll be an opportunity for you to meet fellow parents. And what we're going to do right now is we're just going to have our staff, who's going to be in each of the rooms, introduce themselves. And then our hosts will introduce themselves, our parent hosts will introduce themselves in each of the rooms. And then they will open it up for discussion. You can ask questions. And then at the very end of the hour, we'll come back here as a group for a little wrap up. So right now I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Robin Openhengel. I'm the Executive Director of Parent Engagement. I'm also a proud alum and the proud mom of two daughters who graduated from ASU. It's my total pleasure and honor to work with our families. And now I'll turn it over to Kellen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be calling in from. I'm Kellen Johnson. I'm the Director of Family Programs here at ASU, and just delighted to welcome all of you and your students to ASU, and look forward to getting to know you today. And I will turn it over to Laura.
Thanks, Kellen. Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Green Schoenfeld. I'm Assistant Director in New Student Programs. Been working at ASU for about 10 years, so hoping I can be of help today in answering any questions that might come up. I have the pleasure of working with Robin and Kellen and Carol. So I'll turn it over to Carol to introduce herself.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Carol, and I'm the administrative assistant for our wonderful team. And it's wonderful to have you all join us this morning. And I'm not sure who I'm supposed to turn it over to.
Oh, Carissa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carissa. I'm a coordinator with family programs here at ASU, and I'm looking forward to joining you guys on today's event.
Okay, so now I think it's going to take a couple minutes before we get into all of our rooms. So there may be a little bit of a lull, but it'll be followed by lots of exciting conversation. So just give us a couple of minutes and we'll move into our new rooms.
Perfect. Please just accept the link on your screen and it will bring you to your breakout room to start today's conversation. We're so glad to have you all with us.
Good afternoon. Well, for me, it's good afternoon. Good morning for some of you. Welcome. We're really excited that you joined us today. Really excited that your sons or daughters will be attending ASU. I'm Gary C. Powell, one of our hosts this afternoon or this morning. My daughter is a rising sophomore. She's in the College of Arts, and she is a psychology major. And we are from right outside of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., way to college, all the way from the East Coast. And the one thing that I wish that I knew a year ago, before our daughter started, which is how important it is to be flexible. This in so many different ways, flexible when we moved her in, and flexible in terms of flying her home for I thought I picked a day and bought a plane ticket for her to fly home for Christmas, and then she says, "Well, no, Dad, I want to stay an extra couple of days for whatever it was." And I'm like, okay. And I had to be flexible and change your plane ticket. So that's the one thing I wish I knew, was just how important it is and the need to be flexible. We have a couple other parents who are hosts today, and I'm going to kick it over to Kara.
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie Workman. I am an alum from ASU, and I have those children behind me are grown up now, just like I am. The oldest one on that side just graduated from ASU a year ago, May, from Barrett and WP Carey. The one hiding behind me is going to be a senior this year in sports business with a certificate in marketing. And the little girl is still my little girl. She's in high school. So she'll probably be from ASU as well. My husband is also an alum. So hopefully I can be really helpful to you today. Even though I am an alum and I live here in the Valley, this group was new to me when Alex, my middle child, when he was a sophomore. So I missed out on time interacting with other parents and having people like you have already found this group. I'm sorry that I found it later. And the other thing I wanted to share too, I learned about recently, something that didn't even cross my mind, is when your child turns 18, Gary and I have talked about this in other groups before, when they turn 18, you need a power of attorney in order to make decisions for them if they cannot make decisions. So you can find some on the internet. I actually just got an email recently from, what's her name, Susie Orman. She has one also. I'm not plugging her necessarily. You can find your own or talk to your own attorney, but if you don't have a power of attorney or a medical power of attorney, that's something I would suggest getting. Not a feel-good one, but something I learned recently. I wish I'd known sooner. I'm going to hand it off to our other host, Padma.
Thank you, Carrie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Padma Srinivas. I'm a proud mom of an ASU student. My son is a student at the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering. He is studying electrical engineering and is getting ready to graduate this December with an undergraduate degree. He is going to stay on for another year to do his +1 master's degree, and I'm very excited about that. We live in a town called Saratoga, about 45 minutes south of San Francisco Airport. The weather is beautiful out here, although we don't have much water here. We are in a drought. The one thing I wish I knew when my son joined ASU was that there are so many resources in the university. Please explore all the resources possible, like the tutoring centers, the wonderful library they have, and the great community that we have. Please explore it yourself and also encourage your children to explore it. And it'll be a much smoother ride than you would think. 4 years into ASU, I think it has been a very smooth ride for us, and I wish the same for you all. Over to Carissa.
Hello, everybody. I am the coordinator with family programs here at ASU, and I am a recent alumni from ASU, just graduating with my bachelor's in business sustainability and certificate in cross-sector leadership from WP Carey. And I'm looking forward to sharing any advice that I can offer and listening to all the great resources our family folks have to provide today.
All right, thank you. So, forgive me for turning off my camera. My internet is unstable. Of course, I have to use a hotspot. Verizon, gotta love Verizon. They are moving, and they shut the internet off in the whole house too soon. and so I have no internet. They got the dates wrong, so I'm using a hotspot. So my camera is off. What I like to do is give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves, say where you're from, indicate, who your son or daughter is, that they have a major in the school that they're heading into. Please share that as well. And again, in addition to where you are in the country. And so what I'll do is, so we'll keep those brief so we can spend most of our time answering your questions. And so I'm just going to go in order from what I see here on my Brady Bunch screen. And the first person I see is Miss Conrad, Jennifer Conrad.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Conrad. We are in Upton, Massachusetts. It's about 40 minutes outside of Boston. My son, Bennett House, is an incoming freshman, and he'll be an economics major in the Carey School. And it's been things are coming together, but I have to say it's a little overwhelming trying to, get a kid into school cross country. But we're looking forward to it, and we're going to be taking a few days off after he gets settled to visit Sedona. Thanks.
Thank you. Miss Joy. Joy Jarrett.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joy Jarrett. My son, Adam Sheely, will be a freshman in the mechanical engineering program. We actually have family out in the Phoenix area, so we've grown up kind of visiting and are very familiar. Had two nieces that also went to the school, so have been to the campus, but really excited for him to go on this journey. We live in Nashville, Tennessee. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at a global consulting firm. So I would love to know about all of your graduating people so that they can work for our firm. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Joy. Miss Vamsey.
Hi, my name is Vamsi Gadde. We are from New Jersey, and my son, Sid Naluri, will be going to WP Carey, doing supply chain management major. So he's an only child, first child, so we're a little bit nervous and a lot of excited, and I'm happy to connect with all the parents who have gone through this. Yeah.
All right, woohoo, New Jersey, another East Coaster, fabulous.
Yeah.
Excellent. Matter of fact, I was born and raised in New Jersey. It's my home state.
Me too.
Let's see. Next on my screen is Miss Deborah Martin. You're muted. You're still muted, Deborah.
I'm having lots of technical difficulties today. Apologies. So, yes, my son is a transfer student. He will be third year. He's moving to ASU. He's currently at University of Washington, and he's also changing majors from business to computer science. So he's got lots of changes coming. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we'll be making a trek in August, moving him from Seattle to here and then to Tempe. So that should be an epic journey. And so we're, definitely excited. He's excited with the changes and interested in learning all the resources to help him, get integrated into the campus as a transfer student. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah. We're definitely here to help you with all of that. Walani.
Hi, it's Karuhisa Walani. I know my first name is a little tricky. Anyway, my daughter is freshman. We live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she is doing majors in psychology. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you. Mr. Mueller.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff Mueller. My son is Brendan Mueller. He'll be a freshman in Carey Business School, majoring in finance. We're in Thousand Oaks, California, which is just outside of Los Angeles. And right now we're just looking forward to the move in and trying to figure out all the logistics with coordinating with roommates and things like that. So I appreciate all the resources that are being provided by the university.
Fabulous. And we're going to definitely cover that today. Brian.
Oh.
Brian Zemo.
Yes, it's Zemitel. Hi, my daughter is attending Barrett University. She'll be a freshman. We live in Lake Havasu, Arizona. I am an ASU alum, and so very excited to have my daughter be going to ASU. She'll be majoring in speech pathology.
Thank you, sir. It's like we're having new people join. Everyone's moving around. Let's see, Mr. Ben Jones.
I'll ask my wife, Kimberly, to join in as well. Our son, Jonathan Griffith, is going to be first year at Watts studying criminal justice, and we are coming out on August 10th, flying out of Boston to Phoenix, but actually live in New Bedford, Massachusetts, Boston at 3 a.m. on a weekday.
Excellent. Another East Coaster. Thank you. And Kimberly, you're the wife?
I am. In this case,
correct. I don't know. Did I miss anything?
No, you did a great job.
Anything to add, Kimberly?
No, I think Ben covered it. Thanks.
Got you. Let's see. Letitia, Ms. Castro.
Hi, good morning. My name is Leticia Castro. My son Lorenzo is going to be joining ASU as a freshman in the engineering school for aerospace engineering. He is super excited to be moving out of home. We live in Arizona, in Goodyear, about 40 minutes from here. I'm still trying to warm up to that excitement.
Thank you. We'll definitely help you out with that. Let me see, YG. Someone with the initials YG. You're muted. You're still muted. Tell you about, we'll come back to you. Let me see, Christina Hayes.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I don't have a camera on mine, so you'll have to pardon that. My name is Christina Hayes. I'm in California. My son Jackson Hayes will be a transferring junior. He was class of 2020, so he did the first 2 years of community college in his bedroom. So he is beyond excited to leave home, and he's already met his roommates online. He's got 3 roommates. He's going to be attending the W.P. Carey Business School for Sports Management, and we are going to be moving him the weekend of the 15th. So we're very, very excited. He is beyond. We went and visited the campus again. I went for the first time about 2 weeks ago and walked the campus, and we saw where he's going to be living, and he's just counting the days. Very, very excited. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
BCY.
Hi, my name is Vicky Yan. My daughter is Hannah Yan. She'll be a freshman. She's going to the biomedical engineering major. We live locally in Surprise area, which is the northwest suburb of Phoenix. She's very excited because she'll be leaving home and living on campus.
Thank you. HD Hillian. HD Hillian. Hillon. How about Jenny's iPhone?
I think that's me. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm actually calling from the beach, so you won't get a camera today. I am so excited to be here. I have an incoming freshman. We live in Southwest Iowa, which the big city is Omaha, close to us. He's an only child. I am also trying to warm up to the idea of him being on his own, but I'm grateful for all the networking groups. He will be studying business and has also already met his roommate. We came to one visit last July, and he was sold and applied in the airport on the way home. So he's ready to come down.
Fabulous. And enjoy the beach. Let me see. Kurt.
Good morning, everyone. Greetings from San Diego, California. I should say, have an inbound freshman at Herberger in the animation program. I also have a senior at Belmont University in Nashville. I heard Nashville earlier on the meeting. That'll be graduating a semester early, actually, in December. We're pretty happy about that from a cost perspective. And I heard lots of geographies on here that I'm very familiar with. I flew into Newark Airport, New Jersey for 7 years for work. My in-laws live in North Ranch and Thousand Oaks, so lots of geography on here I'm very familiar with. Greetings, and look forward to the discussion.
Thanks, Kurt. Lisa? Lisa? If you're talking, we don't hear you. Why don't we move on to Yamilet? Ms. Martinez? How about Corinne? Or Corinne?
Hi there, it's Kareen. I am currently hurtling down a freeway with 2 dogs in the back. So if you hear any heavy breathing, that's them, not me. Freeway means I live in Los Angeles. That's all we do, drive all the time, but I'm formerly from New Jersey, so I know it well. I have a son named Theo who's going to be a freshman at Barrett. He's currently in the Explore program because he can't make up his mind about his major, but he's leaning towards psych. He is also a neurodiverse individual, so he is excited to be working with the sales department over there in the TRIO program.
Awesome. Sounds like he will be very busy. I think that's everyone. If I missed you, because I know some people were popping in and out, please come on camera and introduce yourself briefly. Otherwise, we will open the floor up to questions. I know you're probably full of all kinds of questions, from roommates and dorms to how does the food taste, to advice on how to get there from across the country. So if you could use a hand raise feature, and we have several people here that will help to address your questions and offer you some perspectives. Kurt, I see your hand.
Yeah, I got a question. And like I said, I was senior at Belmont in Nashville, so not the first rodeo, but we are having distinct challenges getting my son's roommates, and he's in the, I don't know what it is, the quad configuration with a shared bathroom or whatever. But we are not able to get any of the other three to respond, and we're trying to coordinate the basics of, the rental of the microwave and the fridge and everything. Does anybody have any recommendations other than just, continuing to contact through the portal or what have you to get in contact with people? The silence speaks volumes.
Kurt, the only thing I'd say, because my son had this issue when he was a freshman, is I think that he actually found the kids on Instagram. So instead of going through the portal, you might see if he could search for them on social media, and they might be more responsive.
Yeah, that's what I did with Adam, and got direct contact with the parents, and so we're all set, because you can't rely on teenagers to do that for you. That's what I found.
Agreed. Thanks.
I think it's a very common problem for kids to not respond.
Yeah.
Also, it is summer. A lot of people are traveling and trying to make the most of their time before heading to college. So they will respond slow but steady, but hang in there and be patient. At the end, I want you to know that it'll all work out. All the roommates will get along and they'll do really well in college. So don't stress too much about it.
Thanks.
It's not uncommon to do a lot of shopping. You have a senior, so you may know it's not uncommon to do a lot of shopping the weekend of move-in. So worst comes to worst, you can make some of those decisions when you get here. It may add a level of stress to your anticipation of the move-in day, but believe me, the Target here anticipates, and Walmart, they anticipate a lot of students, and they rearrange their store and fill it full with things that you need for the dorm. It's a very busy place and requires a lot of patience, but you'll find fridges and and rugs and whatever you need there, extension cords.
And be sure to check, what dorm your son and daughter is in, because some have fridges and microwaves and others don't. Like my daughter was in Manzanita, and her dorm room had a fridge and a microwave, so it was not necessary for us to get one. But she had friends in other dorms, and they did not. So it really depends on where they are. So you'd want to check that out before you go and buy and lug, a mini fridge when you really don't have to.
Absolutely, and especially if you have to rent a fridge and a microwave, you may want to find out more earlier because they have only limited quantities for rental. And I know when my son was a sophomore, they ran out and he had to make do with what he had.
I also wanted to mention, if you're not at the beach or hurling down the freeway, we would love to see your faces. It's a lot more fun when we can experience the feedback through this conversation. If you're comfortable, we'd love to have your cameras on. Thank you. And then you might recognize someone.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and again, I apologize. My camera's off. Like I said, Verizon cut our internet a week earlier than they should have, and now it's on in the house that I'm not in yet. So Jenny, I think your hand was next.
Okay, so I'm turning my face on from my beach chair. So my question is in regards to food in the cafeteria. My son has a nut, specifically peanut and tree nut allergy. And I just kind of wondered if anybody had any experience with that. And secondary to that, he does carry an EpiPen with him. He's not great about it all the time. But anybody have any experience with the campus health department?
I think the chefs at the campus food places are quite accommodative. If he has any nut allergies, I believe he can just go tell the chef about his allergies and they will prepare a special meal for him. Although my son has never had any allergies, he has mentioned about his friends who have used that facility. They also have a dietitian on campus, I believe. Kellen, correct me if I'm wrong. You can talk to her in advance and make sure she is aware of his allergies, and she'll be able to guide you through the process.
Thank you. He's pretty darn independent with it and knows to ask, but I assumed things were pretty nut free, but I just kind of wanted to clarify. One other thing real quick. I am on a Facebook page with other ASU parents, and they mentioned that the water rental was essential. I live in the Midwest, so I'm not really aware of all the water challenges that y'all have down there, but if you could explain, I did rent the water cooler, but just wondering if that was accurate information.
The water in Tempe tastes awful, even when you go to a restaurant. So it's nice. It's not if you and it's also really important if you're coming from another climate to drink a lot of water. So that's something to remind your student of. And if it tastes bad, they're not going to drink it. So renting water, I'm on the same Facebook group, and renting water is, they just drop off the bottles outside of their door. And then they put the empty bottles outside, and then they swap them out. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
I would also recommend your child to carry a water bottle with him or her during the day. Fill it up and carry it with you wherever you go, because it does get really hot during the day. Please make sure your child drinks a lot of water all through. I would also recommend carrying a hat or a small umbrella and getting some sunscreen. It'll be really hot when school starts in mid-August.
Yeah, the having the water is really important. We knew it was going to be hot. We visited campus. Matter of fact, we went out the weekend of July 4th to pay a visit. My daughter was 99% sure that's where she wanted to go, but she wanted to actually see it in person before making that last 1% decision. So we experienced that July heat, and so knew what to expect. But even with that, she just did not drink as much water as she should have, and ended up kind of suffering, kind of learning the hard way. So water bottle always with you, and yeah, the water does not taste good. Now, my daughter and her roommates, they just relied on Costco runs and just loading up on bottled water, and that you can get some even in the quart-sized jugs, and so they opted to go that route rather than rent the water cooler, and it worked for them. So, but of course, again, they were having to make runs to Costco to get water versus the convenience of having it delivered. So it really, it's going to be up to whatever is going to work out best for your son or daughter and their roommates.
Hey, I have a question, a follow-up question to that. So I'm pretty sure the heat's going to kick my son's butt, and we're from LA, but it's even hotter out there. I actually had, as a side note, I had him look up when somebody said it might be 120 on move-in day. I had him look, I said, I didn't even think people are allowed to go out at 120. And he looked it up, and apparently people cannot exist outside at 130. So we're still 10 degrees under what humans can endure, but it's not much under. But he can deal with anything if he knows there's an end date. So when does it cool down and get nice for the rest of the year?
It seems to get later and later every year. I'm a Phoenix native, but I grew up here. So he can start looking for cooler nights at the end of September, October. But there will still be some hot days that sneak in October. So November is when it gets gorgeous, and then even until May, there'll be some really nice nights and days too. He's gonna love springtime and winter.
Yeah, if you go out for family weekend in November, you're gonna absolutely love the weather. November is just idyllic. It was just absolutely perfect. Joy, your hand is up.
Or Joy, if you don't mind me interrupting, I just want to call your attention to the chat. There's been a few links dropped into the chat that will be really helpful. Several about the food services and food allergies, as well as orientation and family weekend. If you're unable to see that now or keep up with the chat, don't worry. Kellen's collecting all of those links, and they'll be sent out to you via email. But I wanted to let you know that they're there so you don't miss them. Okay, now, Joy, I'm sorry for the interruption.
No problem,
Thanks.
Gary. Thank you for mentioning that.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions. One is there a common place to go find the layout of rooms for your dorm? One. And second is, as we're moving, since so many of the parents are going to be out there during the move-in dates, is there something planned for parents, like a social or anything to get together?
As far as the first question, we reached out to the housing office, and they actually provided us the blueprint, if you will, or the schematic of the room with all the dimensions, a room layout, which was really, really helpful. So they will provide that to you if you ask, and that was our experience.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to put in the link, I'm going to put in the chat a link to events for Welcome Week, and you'll find some parent events there as well as student events that will be happening that move-in week. And you had another question I was going to answer.
Layout.
What was it?
Dorm layout.
Oh, the dorm layout, yes. Besides reaching out, as Gary said, if you go to YouTube, there are actually students who have videoed their rooms, and they'll give the YouTube video will give you a nice little tour of the room, and which is awesome because it gives you some ideas on organization.
Yeah, I've done the tour when we were out there. I just really wanted to know like how much space I have to work with.
Oh, the number. You want
sizes of things, yeah.
Sizes of
storage units and things like that.
Yeah, the room layout they gave was, I mean, it had all the dimensions, even the dimension of the closet. So
That's
it was
perfect.
it was perfect.
That's great. I'll reach out to housing then.
What dorm, Joy? Do you know what dorm?
Tooker? Yeah, he's in engineering, so he's in Tooker, South Florida.
Nice.
My son was in Tooker too, and actually Tooker House has the layout online. If you just Google Tooker House layout, you will be able to find that. And also letting you know that students go to their dorms only to shower and sleep. They're out most of the day. And my son studied at the library most of the day. Tooker House also has some study rooms where they can go sit and study. It's an absolutely beautiful dorm. So no worries about that.
Thank you.
You know, on the subject of move-in, one piece of advice I can share is don't, if you're flying in like we did, don't plan your flights such that, I'll drop my daughter off in the morning, I can just catch an evening flight and I'm good to go. I recommend planning to stick around for a couple of days, because what we experienced is, in particularly coming across country and you just can't remember to bring it all, there was things that she forgot or didn't realize she needed. And so I was literally just kind of on standby, and the phone would ring and it'd be like, Dad, I forgot my shower shoes. Run to Walmart, run to Bed Bath & Beyond, run to Target. Dad, I didn't realize that we have to bring our own shower curtain. And it was just, I need this, I need that. And so I was just there to run around and just get this stuff for her, and just, it got to a point where I felt confident that she was good. So if you are flying in to bring your son or daughter, don't book your return flight like that day or even the next day. I would stick around for a while just for that peace of mind, and then you don't have to worry about trying to change your flight because they're not 100%, ready to go. Deborah.
Yeah, thanks. I had a follow-up question on the heat, because my son's in off-campus housing, so he's going to be about 1.5 miles away down University Avenue. And so you guys were talking about heat strategies, and he's furiously learning or trying to improve his skateboarding skills right now so that he can get around faster on the campus. Because I'm like, you're gonna melt or like desiccate on that walk into campus. And so I was wondering if anybody had any other tips for, you know, what the students are doing to get around when it's hot and try and minimize their time outside.
You know, your child is going to be very resilient or very, what I'm looking for. They're going to come up, and so maybe they're going to come up with a plan on how to do it from class. So they'll have little moments or pockets of air conditioning on their way to their destination. And so it might take them a couple of days to kind of figure that out, but before you know it, they will have planned out a route that allows them to be inside for a good portion of it, and that's one way of addressing the heat.
Okay.
What he means is like building hop, the building hop.
Yeah.
And the skateboard is a very popular option as well. And planning out their day to, you know, stay at the MU instead of walking back and forth to their apartments.
I also dropped in the chat, depending on kind of where that apartment is, there are lots of free public transport options in the city of Tempe. So there's a flash bus that literally circles campus. So it'll take you from the north side to the south side down McAllister for free, which is super helpful if you park far away one day. There's the Orbit that goes all over Tempe. It goes almost all the way to the edge of South Tempe, actually, and has various stops. And then they just implemented the new trolley that runs kind of directly through campus into the end of Mill and then wraps back around to the far end of the stadium. And all of those options are free for students.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the mile and a half, it may be handy a couple times.
Yeah.
Miss Malani?
Sorry. Two questions. Number one, I'll go back to allergy. Is there any sign or anything on their ID card which represent that they kids have allergy problem? Like nut allergy, because my daughter is pretty much allergic to every nut. So is there any sign on the behind of their ID card which represent that they have kind of thing?
You don't want sausage? I don't know how to make it.
Any idea?
It's easy.
So typically the food tags will indicate if there's an allergen present in that recipe. So it's
like go out and accidentally if she eats something and things happen. So if something at the back of the ID card says that hey, this person is allergic to nuts or any particular thing. Nowadays a lot of people are allergic to strawberries and blueberries and accidentally things happen. So people who are like friends or neighbors or whatever it is, they should be kind of aware of that. So I wonder if we can, add something or bring this to ASU's attention, that this is kind of, knowing so many allergies. So that would be really helpful if somebody can forward this message to them.
I can absolutely share that.
Thank you. And second, perfect. Yeah, because it's not only now nut allergy is pretty common, but a lot of people are allergic to a lot of different things too. And the second thing is that we live in Arizona and 15-20 minutes away from Tempe campus. So is there any parent contact information or anything that if anybody lives out of the state or their kids want some help and we can offer them? So is there any Dropbox where we can leave our information to help other kids or other parents or who don't live in the state?
The only thing I'm aware of is I'm on a Facebook group for ASU parents, and I see offers for help like that all the time. The parents are really supportive.
And how can we join that Facebook group? Is by invitation or you going to send us invitation?
it asks to join. I'm looking it up right now. You ask to join, and then you have to answer a few questions. It's ASU Moms.
ASU Moms, okay.
And then they'll approve you.
Okay.
It has a lot of resources as well. But remember, to their moms, you always want to double check that information with the university as well. Make sure it's accurate.
Okay.
Depending on the information.
Okay, and one more thing, we all received a particular date about move-in, like somebody's going to move in at 13, somebody's going to move at 14, but pretty much everybody said that coming at 7:30. And knowing my daughter, she's sharing room with other 3 people, and they all are bringing 5 and 6 people because they are coming from out of town. So is it okay that we go a little later than 7:30, or you have to be there by 7:30?
Get your drive.
This move-in is a well-oiled machine. You will be blown away by how smooth the move-in process is. So if you are off on your time, it will not go as smoothly for you. They're expecting you at a certain time. So I would go at your time, and really you don't even touch what you have in your car. You'll get out, you'll get your keys, you'll get your room assignment, and then they'll send you to the dorm, and you follow the traffic pattern, and there are people there waiting. So if there are things in your car that are not supposed to go to the dorm, make sure that you have them separated, because they just clean out whatever area you say, the back of your trunk, the back seat, and they put it in these bins, and the bins generally beat you up to your room. By the time you park and get there, your stuff will be there. So it's really impressive.
And then we just need to park and hang out with the kids, or should we bring the kids home, or how does it work?
What I parked and went in and helped my kids set up their dorm rooms. They were boys, so they were more than happy for my help, but then they were also ready for me to leave once I made their bed. I was there to be their assistant. And once I stopped handing them thumbtacks to hang up their posters and things, then they were like, "Go, Mom," and, so that was my experience of it. So we just parked it. If you're coming from out of town, maybe help them move in and then go grab some lunch. I don't think my kids would have even been interested in having lunch with me at that time, but we didn't move across.
Thank you.
And I think the only exception, and Carrie's right, the move-in process is a very well-oiled machine. The only exception to all this is if your son or daughter is in a program which requires them to arrive early. So, for example, my daughter was in the Sankofa program, and which was a tremendous program and opportunity. I'm so glad she got accepted to it. And so because of that, she actually moved in I think 2 or 3 days before the move-in date that we're referring to. So because of that, we actually moved her stuff up ourselves. I mean, we still got a cart to facilitate, so we didn't have to hand carry everything. But we did that move-in process ourselves because it was before the official move-in date. And so it was kind of nice. I mean, she was the first one in her room, and kind of got her stuff set up. Because I would imagine the 4 of them in there at the same time trying to do all that, could be bumping into each other. So if your son or daughter is in one of those programs that they are expected to come early, everything you just said with the move-in is going to be slightly different. You'll be doing more of the
this is my second kid in college, and I have a couple of recommendations for parents, and I just didn't know if this is an appropriate forum to share those.
Absolutely, we'd be grateful.
I'm not in my office today, so I'm in my man cave, and it's Friday, so I'm going to go here. Greetings, everyone. Here's where my oldest goes, Belmont University in Nashville. So a couple of things. Number one, the HIPAA release the power of attorney.
Hopefully, but
Critical.
that's
Critical.
not
I would also suggest for anyone, your kid can sign you up for my ASU if you want to, and you guys agree to follow grades. For my youngest, that's communication plan. Have a communication plan. Look, dude, and look, you got to be pretty tough and independent in my house. And I have two boys, and I'm not suggesting there's any difference there, but just so you know, I have two very independent boys. This day, this time, every week, we're going to talk. And then have text. I mean, we do text. We also have WhatsApp or what have you, multiple channels of communication. But have a plan to talk at the same time, however many days you want a week, and place that expectation with your kids. Lastly, and Gary, don't take this the wrong way, and Carrie, I'm going to kind of go down your recommendation path. If you're going to come into town and you want to see the sites in the area, come in before move-in. Do that before move-in. Get that out of the way. My older son's college, Belmont, really hammered this into parents, and it was critical for us. If you have your first kid going to college, when you drop off. Get out of town. Let your kid start this next chapter in their life. I can't recommend that enough. With this kid, and keep in mind, I already have a senior. I'm not sure I'm even going to stop the car all the way. So, I mean, being funny, and Gary, again, I'm not trying to go against this, but I believe in this very strongly. When you drop off.
I get what you're saying. You know, my child did not have a car. Yeah. So when she was like, oh, crap, you know, I don't have a shower curtain, it was nice to be there to get it for her.
I don't want to belabor the point. I don't disagree. That's why Jeff Bezos is alive and what Amazon is for, in my humble opinion. And I think that struggle of forgetting something for a young adult is actually good. So, just my opinion. Those are my recommendations. Again, I have two boys. Might be a little bit different. But just take it for what it's worth. Just one parent with a couple of recommendations. Communication plan critical, guys, or else you'll get super, super frustrated and worried. Have a communication plan.
Yeah, I would agree with Kurt. That's the advice that I give to friends all the time about the communication plan. And if you do text them outside of that allotted time, maybe talk to them about how you really appreciate a response back in X amount of time. You know, it's just a text. So, you know, maybe they're in a 2 or 3 hour class. So maybe you have an agreed upon time, ask them to set that agreed upon time, how quickly they'll respond to you. Because when there's radio silence, we know our brains can take us to places we don't want to go. And it's important for them to understand that, that we are still as independent, and as much as we believe in them, we still know that they're living on their own, and we don't know what's going on. So a quick response, if you agree upon it ahead of time, is a lot easier to do than to have to coach them on it later. So thank you for offering that. I think we have another question. Mamsie?
So I have the same concern as Walani. My son has allergies and he is allergic to dairy and nuts. So is there like a menu posted somewhere with a list of ingredients that he can follow and pick the food that doesn't have the allergens in it?
Right. It's like ground beef.
I'm not sure about that. In the chat, we have links to nutrition and dietary. Maybe give them a call. My kids don't have food allergies, so I'd rather you talk to them. But I would suspect that ingredients are listed, just like they are in in chain restaurants.
Looks like we have about 30 seconds. Jeff, was your question quick?
I'm not sure. So I've heard the horror stories about since they're 18 that we have to have the power of attorney to see their grades and participate in their health decisions. God forbid something serious happen. But how does it work on campus? Since they're 18 years old, did the parents not receive copies of their grades and don't have access to their medical records unless we have these powers of attorney, or how does it work?
That's correct. My ASU, your student can grant you
All right, I think we're all back, Robin.
All right, well, first of all, thank you everyone for joining us. I want to share a special thanks to all of our fantastic Leadership Council parent hosts who were in each room helping to guide the conversation. We could not do this without our wonderful volunteers. And that also leads me to share, there's lots of opportunities for all of you, the families who joined us today, to become involved and engaged with the university. We need more parent hosts in the future, more families to help with Direct Connect, more families to become engaged anywhere at the university that they'd like to. We will be sending you a note with all of the links that were posted in each of the breakout room chats. And there will also be some contact information of mine, how you can get involved. We need you families, so we hope that you will reach out and share how you would like to become involved. We hope you all enjoyed today. Our ASU families are very important to us. And so as we wrap up, it's a little bit after 10, I just want to say welcome, go ASU families, and we hope to see you back for welcome, other virtual coffees, and family weekend, and beyond. So thank you again for joining us, and you'll be hearing from us for other upcoming events. Go ASU families. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.